Level 1, the applicant. You apply through the FBI careers portal online. You've got the degree, 3 years of work experience, and a clean record. Then you wait. 5 months of silence. They finally call you in. You drive to a regional field office. Metal detectors at the door, armed guards, cameras on every wall. A special agent sits you down and asks why you want to be here. You give the rehearsed answer: duty, service, protecting the country. Then the real questions start. Why were you let go from that position in 2018? What about the disorderly conduct charge your sophomore year? They already have the answers. They've interviewed your ex, your old roommate, your high school guidance counselor. They've pulled your finances, your driving history, every post you've ever made online. Next comes the polygraph. 3 hours in a room with no windows. Sensors strapped to your chest, clipped to your fingers. The examiner asks about drugs, money, sex, things you've never said out loud. The machine reads what your mouth won't say. Elevated pulse, damp palms, micro hesitations. 5 weeks later, an envelope arrives. You've been accepted into new agent training. Report date, Quantico, Virginia. Everything changes from here. Level 2, the trainee. Quantico, 547 acres of Virginia woods. For 20 weeks, this is your entire existence. Up at 5:30 a.m. in a dorm room smaller than your college single. You run the yellow brick road, a 6.1-mile trail through forest and hills. Classrooms all afternoon. Federal statutes, Fourth Amendment law, chain of custody, case construction. Then the paperwork system. FD 302s for witness interviews. FD 1057s for personnel actions. Everything gets documented. Everything gets filed. Weeks on the firearms range, they hand you a Glock 19M. First time you pull the trigger, your hands are trembling. The rangemaster keeps barking until the shaking stops. Thousands of rounds. Night shoots, stress drills, moving targets. By week 10, the draw is muscle memory, no thought involved. Hogan's Alley, a full-scale fake town built inside the compound. Storefronts, residences, a bank. Instructors play suspects. Classmates play bystanders. You clear a bank robbery scenario. You serve a search warrant on a house. Every rep is filmed. Every rep is graded. Did you identify yourself? Did you control the weapon? Did you clear corners? One slip and you repeat the whole thing. The program is built to eliminate people. 20% wash out. Graduation is a Friday in December. Your parents are in the audience. They hand you the badge, the credentials, the sidearm. You raise your right hand and swear an oath to the Constitution. You're a special agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Level 3, the field agent. First posting, a mid-size office in the Midwest. You're the newest body in the building, the rookie. The office works everything: robberies, narcotics, corruption, anything that crosses a state line. They pair you with a senior agent. For 2 years, you don't operate alone. You observe, you document, you draft reports. First case, a credit union holdup. Ski mask, handgun shown, $9,500 taken. Your training agent pulls camera footage. You contact nearby branches. 3 days of grinding through it. Tedious, repetitive, nothing like what you pictured. Then a lead. The getaway car was stolen. You lift a set of prints off the steering column. They match a guy with 2 prior drug convictions. You get the warrant. He's asleep in his girlfriend's apartment when you show up. No fight. Hands behind his back, Miranda rights. Into the vehicle. Your first federal arrest. It doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like paperwork. Your partner tells you, this is 90% of it. Waiting and writing. The suspect takes a plea deal. No trial. Case closed. On to the next file. Level 4, the senior agent. 5 years in. Probation's over. You run your own investigations now. You train the new guys coming in. They put you on a violent crimes task force. Armed robbery rings, gang networks, interstate kidnappings. Your main case? A crew knocking over banks across 4 states. $450,000 stolen over 8 months. Professional. Disciplined. Careful. You build it piece by piece. Every robbery. Footage reviewed, patterns identified. Same vehicle types, same entry formation, same role assignments. You coordinate with state police and local departments. Not everyone's happy about feds stepping in. You learn to manage egos, share credit. A partial plate leads to a name. You set up surveillance. You photograph him. You map his contacts, his schedule, his habits. You bring the case to a federal prosecutor. She signs off on a wire. You listen to them plan the next hit in real time. You set up on the target bank. 6 agents, 3 cars. Watch and wait. They pull up. They go inside. You move. Block the exit. Weapons drawn. On the ground, now! They drop. No shots. 4 arrests. $180,000 recovered. 3 vehicles seized. 5 firearms confiscated. Trial takes 11 days. Jury convicts on all counts. This one felt real. This one meant something. Level 5, the squad supervisor. 12 years as an agent. They move you into management. You run a squad now. 12 agents under you. The work changes completely. You're not in the field anymore. You approve ops. You review case files. You handle personnel problems. One agent's drinking is getting worse. Another's marriage is falling apart. A third wants out. Burned out. Done. You deal with all of it. Meetings consume your days. Budget reviews, interagency coordination, policy briefings. You report up to the ASAC. You brief headquarters weekly. You spend hours writing justification memos for your squad's resource allocation. You're drained. You miss chasing cases. You miss being in the car at 2 a.m. But this is how you advance. This is the ladder. Then your squad lands a domestic terrorism investigation, a cell plotting to bomb a federal courthouse. You coordinate with the Joint Terrorism Task Force, bring in ATF, DHS. You brief the U.S. Attorney personally. You plan the takedown. Your team executes the arrests. You manage the press conference afterward. Your name hits the news. FBI disrupts terror plot. You don't tell anyone it was your agents who did the work. You weren't even on scene for the arrest. That's what leadership is. You move the pieces. You don't get to be one. Level 6, the ASAC. Transfer to a major field office. New York, LA, or Chicago. You're now the assistant special agent in charge, second in command. You oversee multiple squads, counterterrorism, counterintel, cyber, hundreds of active cases. 200 agents and staff report to you. Crisis management becomes your daily life. An agent fires his weapon off duty. You sit on the review board. A surveillance operation fails and the target disappears. You explain it to Washington. Someone inside the office files a misconduct complaint. You investigate your own people. You coordinate with the Inspector General's office. The politics are vicious. Headquarters wants answers. The U.S. Attorney wants results. Local PD wants respect. Everyone's pulling in a different direction. You hold it together. Community events, handshakes with mayors, speeches about interagency partnership, photo ops you despise, smiles you don't mean. But it's the job. You sleep 4 hours. Your second marriage is on life support. Your kids are growing up in a house you're barely in. Missed birthdays, missed holidays, missed everything. You tell yourself it matters. Some nights, you almost believe it. Level 7, the SAC. You run a field office now, the entire thing. Special agent in charge. For most agents, this is the ceiling. You oversee all operations across a multi-state region. 400 people under your command. You maintain relationships with senators, congressmen, federal judges. You testify before oversight committees. You defend your budget line by line. The cases are national security level now. A terror cell, an espionage ring, a foreign intelligence operation. You greenlight operations, you shut them down. You decide what's worth the risk. Every call has consequences. You authorize a raid on a suspect's residence. It goes sideways. An agent takes a round in the chest. You attend his funeral. You deliver the eulogy. You tell his wife he died protecting this country. You don't tell her you signed the operational order. You don't tell her you replay that decision every night. That weight doesn't leave. Level 8, the Executive Assistant Director. Headquarters, Washington, D.C. The field is behind you now. You run an entire division of the Bureau, criminal investigations, or maybe the National Security Branch. Thousands of agents in your chain of command, budgets in the hundreds of millions. You brief members of Congress, you brief the Attorney General. You sit in classified sessions with the National Security Council. Your decisions set priorities for every field office in the country. You decide what gets investigated. You decide what gets resources. Meetings from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Strategy, budget, crisis response. When it goes wrong, the director calls you. When it goes right, the director takes the stage. You're invisible to the public, but you're one of the most powerful people in American law enforcement. You haven't cuffed anyone in 15 years, haven't drawn your weapon in 20, but you steer the ship, you set its course. Level 9, the Deputy Director. Number 2 in the FBI. Only the director above you. You run day-to-day operations for the entire Bureau. 35,000 employees, offices in every state, attachés in 80 countries. You brief the president directly. You sit in the Situation Room during national security emergencies. Congress calls you regularly. Senators ask about active threats, ongoing investigations, cyber intrusions. Your answers are precise, truthful, but incomplete, informative, but protective. Everyone at the table understands the rules. You manage relationships with CIA, NSA, DHS. Interagency politics drain you. Everyone guards their territory. Everyone wants the win. Everyone buries their mistakes. You approve operations that could trigger international incidents if they fail. You make calls knowing history will judge them, knowing one day it all gets declassified. You sleep 3 hours. You're 60 years old. 35 years with the Bureau. Your body's breaking. Bad back, bad knees, blood pressure medication. Your mind is still sharp. Your third marriage held together, barely. Your kids are adults now. They respect the work. They don't fully understand it. Retirement keeps crossing your mind. But there's always one more threat, one more crisis, one more reason to stay. Level 10, the Ghost. You retire after 35 years of service. The ceremony is at headquarters. The director speaks. Colleagues attend. Some cry. They give you the FBI Medal for Meritorious Achievement. It goes in a box on a shelf. You can't explain what you did to earn it. You buy a house in rural Virginia, away from everything. Friends are few. The people you worked with are retired, relocated, or gone. The people you knew before the Bureau, that was a different life. You can't explain where the decades went. Can't explain the scars or the silence. Your pension is solid. Health care covered. The government takes care of its own, financially at least. But the memories don't retire. The cases, the criminals, the agents who didn't make it home. You try normal life. You fish. You read. You walk your property line at 3 a.m., scanning for threats that don't exist. You can't shut it off. You never will. And somewhere right now, a 24-year-old college grad is filling out an application on the FBI portal. They're thinking about justice, about catching the bad guys, about making a difference. They have no idea what this job takes from you. The isolation, the moral weight, the things you'll carry that you can never put down. But they'll find out. They always do.